I'm Marcy Mangan.
Pacers head coach Frank Vogel says while winning games is fun, seeing a look of excitement and joy on these kids' faces is most rewarding. While receiving these gifts put a smile on these kids' faces today, it'll be something they remember the rest of their lives. Marcy Mangan, 24-Hour News 8.
We're downtown today talking about hot jobs, and food vendors are definitely some of those people that have a hot job. We're out here talking to West Coast Tacos and Scratch Modern Comfort Food. And we're gonna go inside and take a look. The guys say it's actually 15 degrees hotter inside the truck. They're working with hot grills all day, and they actually have towels on top of their head trying to stay cool. Actually, one local vendor had to close down today because it was too hot to work in the heat. Reporting downtown Indianapolis, Marcy Mangan, 24-Hour News 8. Despite construction on the interstate, state police say the roadwork was not a factor in this accident. The driver told police he was tired, and now they're offering this advice. Even with the Fever being #1 in the WNBA, the organization is still having problems selling out tickets. Even with the Fever being #1 in the WNBA, the organization is still having problems selling tickets. Police say armed robbery isn't up any more than last summer. The interesting thing is that more of these crimes are being committed by women. I'm Marcy Mangan. I'll tell you what could delay NASA's last space shuttle launch, next at 5. There is a 70% chance that thunderstorms could delay Atlantis' liftoff, which is scheduled for tomorrow at 11:26 a.m. With little information coming in and the number of searchers dwindling, Lauren's parents have opened a post office box, hoping to bring in anonymous tips. While code enforcement is doing everything they can to make stadiums a safer place, fans must also use their judgment when watching games. Not only was his business affected, but his personal life as well. He was put in a position where he could have been stripped from his family. According to police, the boys duct taped their grandmother's door shut and then lit oil-soaked rags on fire, trying to burn the house down.
Gives it to Hansbrough, 20 feet out.
Sporting events fill millions of these seats each game. Game day is a time of excitement and joy, seeing the pros and the possibility of catching a ball that flies into the stands. But with one death and one near death of a sports fan falling from trying to catch a fly ball, it is no wonder Indianapolis code enforcement is revisiting the safety of local venues. Last week, a Texas firefighter fell over the ledge at a Rangers game while trying to catch a baseball. He fell 20 feet to his death onto concrete. His son was there to witness the tragedy. A few days later at the Home Run Derby, another baseball fan almost fell the same distance, but his friends were there to catch him before another disaster could strike. These events have spurred a recent inspection of local sporting venues. Officials of Lucas Oil Stadium and Conseco Fieldhouse are devising ways to maximize the safety of fans.
Planning and being prepared is really key.
This is PIO Kate Johnson. She says code enforcement performs inspections to make sure infrastructure is up to code.
We check to make sure that construction is meeting code for both safety and fire. So they would check to see that the heights of the guardrail are appropriate, as well as that they can hold up the proper amount of weight that might be bearing on that wall or on that rail.
While code enforcement is doing everything they can to make stadiums a safer place, fans must also use their judgment when watching games.
Obviously, we want to encourage people to be as safe as they can.
Greg Schenkel of Conseco Fieldhouse says,
There's always the responsibility. The fan, he or herself need to be conscious of things and be conscious of their surroundings.
Reporting from downtown Indianapolis, Marcy Mangan, 24-Hour News 8.
We've got a cake decorating kit.
I got a tiara.
I got a tool building kit.
It sounded like Christmas morning at the Indiana National Guard headquarters today. Maybe that is why the Pacers and Fever teamed up and named this event Christmas in July, to bring a little holiday cheer to the children of servicemen and women.
When I go over and visit soldiers over in Iraq and Afghanistan, one of the first things they always ask, if I say what we can do to help you, it's always say, sir, make sure my family's taken care of.
The kids were all smiles and had an undeniable look of joy on their faces as they greeted Pacers head coach Frank Vogel and mascot Boomer.
Pacers head coach Frank Vogel says while winning games is fun, seeing a look of excitement and joy on these kids' faces is most rewarding.
big wide eyes. They're all scared of Boomer, and they're all loving getting some extra toys.
The remaining toys were loaded into a truck and will go to the children of military men and women who are currently abroad, have recently been deployed, or were lost in the line of duty.
While receiving these gifts put a smile on these kids' faces today, it'll be something they remember the rest of their lives. Marcy Mangan, 24-Hour News 8.
Music rang through the halls of the Community Church of Greensburg today in remembrance of a murdered 12-year-old. A friend. That is how classmates will remember Devin Parsons.
He was a good friend of mine and the nicest boy in our 4th grade class.
School children clung to loved ones, and the family of Devin Parsons consoled each other.
He's in a good place now.
Investigators say Devin was beaten by his mother, Tasha Parsons, on the night of June 3rd. She reportedly admitted to using her hands, her feet, a belt, and a metal tray for hours. She accused Devin of hiding her drugs and is now facing murder charges. Today's funeral was a reminder of how tragic this boy's death is.
Going to miss your smile.
Sending him home. He's not going to hurt anymore.
Devin's casket was taken from the chapel to St. Mary's Catholic Cemetery for burial. Maggie Hewer says she will never forget her friend Devin.
When I see the sun shining, I will always think of Devin. None of us knew that on the last day of school, we wouldn't see Devin anymore. Devin, we will always keep you close in our hearts, and when I look up at the night stars, I will wave it to you.
Marcy Mangan, 24-Hour News 8.
Lauren!
The sound of a mother calling out in distress fills the woods of Bloomington. A 20-year-old IU student is missing. Her picture is now seen taped to trees throughout the Bloomington area. Her father, Robert, is determined to find his daughter.
We get through it with the help of everyone that comes in touch with us.
Lauren's parents flew in from New York on Saturday and have been searching the Bloomington area ever since. The family, unfamiliar with the area, was told to search the woods. As for police,
we have received nearly 300 tips.
Lauren was last seen walking south on College Avenue after a night of partying with her friends. Cameras show she never made it back to her apartment on the corner of 8th and College.
I start my every day hoping that today is the day.
Lauren!
Marcy Mangan, 24-Hour News 8. A delivery truck driver is in the hospital today after a car accident that killed his wife. Police say the driver of this truck fell asleep at the wheel. His life spared. His wife was not so lucky.
Here you see the example, the results of what happens when you drive fatigued.
Police say William Collette hit a concrete barrier with his vehicle on eastbound I-74 near southbound I-465. His wife Karen died moments after the truck flipped on its side before coming to a stop. Despite construction on the interstate, state police say the roadwork was not a factor in this accident. The driver told police he was tired, and now they're offering this advice.
When you feel fatigued, stop the side of the road, get the rest that you need.
Meanwhile, the Ohio couple worked for a donut company. They were trying to make an early morning delivery, but never made it to their destination.
They were too tired to drive. They're weighing the fact that, well, if I stop and I try to take a nap, then I'm in trouble with my boss. Well, I'd rather be in trouble with my boss than lose my spouse.
Reporting from I-74, Marcy Mangan. Gunshots were heard throughout this North Side neighborhood this afternoon. Police arrived at the 3300 block of North Park around 7 p.m. On the scene, they found a young black male who suffered multiple gunshots lying on the sidewalk. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Police blocked off the crime scene and a crowd formed on the surrounding streets. Authorities say they do not have anyone in custody, but expect to receive more information in the coming days.
Hopefully, if someone does know something, they will come forward, and if they do and they don't want to come forward here now, we would hope that they will call 327-TIPS later and tell us what they know.
This is the third Indianapolis homicide this weekend.
Working very hard, very diligently, and trying to combat crime. I would like to say that it's going to take a lot more than us. It's going to take a lot more than IMPD, the media. It's going to take the community coming together.
Marcy Mangan, 24 Hour News 8.